Hi guys, I want to talk to you about closure for a quick second. What I wanted to say today about closure is that it is not unnatural for us to have a deep longing to experience closure with the person who we're experiencing the lack of closure with, to engage with them in order to bring about that closure. When there's a rupture or some kind of tear in a relationship, an experience where there's hurt, brokenness, we're moving forward feeling like we were mistreated, we're feeling like someone else misunderstood us, we're feeling like we need to say something because maybe we've been the one who's wrong, and we want to connect with the person where there's been hurt to create this closure. That's very natural. That makes sense for us as human beings to long to come together with that person and to create right relationship. I think that is not only natural in us, but it is something that comes to us through God. So that when we desire to resolve the issue with that person, it's because we long for things to be made right, for all things to be made right. Unfortunately, especially this side of heaven, sometimes the people who we want to create closure with are not available for that. Their hearts are not open to it. They're not emotionally capable. Maybe they're no longer alive. Maybe mentally they're at a different place in a different space. Maybe since the wounding has happened, you have continued to grow in self-awareness and a deeper sense of consciousness, and they have not. And so mentally, you're at a different place with the words you even use to discuss these types of things. And so maybe there's attempts made to connect with this person for closure, but the closure you're looking for and longing for just cannot happen with that person helping that happen. In this type of a situation, what I wanted to say to you is closure is still possible. And not just possible, but it is possible for us to experience closure at an even more complete and perfect level than what we imagine, like the most idyllic situation with this person involved, everything's made right. Like it can happen that beautifully or more so. But it's something that we have to be willing to pursue on our own. It's something we have to be willing to work through without that person's help. If they are not available for that and it's just not the right thing to try to keep forcing that to happen. I mean, it's never the right thing to try to force that to happen. But if that door closes, it's very possible for us to pursue this on our own if we're willing to accept, okay, it's time for me to do this on my own. And I just wanted to give you a couple steps you can take to move in the right direction. The first one is to just be aware of and present with the emotions that are connected with this experience. Not only the fact that there was hurt, but also the fact that the closure you're trying to experience keeps getting blocked. Like just acknowledge and be aware of and be present with whatever emotions you're sensing inside of yourself when you take time to think about that experience. When you acknowledge those emotions, you are going to attune to yourself. You are going to see and honor and recognize your experience the way that you were longing for somebody else to, and they never did or just weren't able to. And so I want you to know that that first step is huge. It's huge for you to honor and acknowledge and be present with in a compassionate way, without judgment, zero judgment, to be present with yourself and like whatever comes to the surface when you think about that hurtful experience and the lack of closure from it. And the second thing that I want to invite you to do is to acknowledge that your need for them to help that closure happen is no longer something you're tied to. You're being present with the emotions, not only from the experience, but also from the lack of closure. And at the same time, you're acknowledging, I don't need them to move forward and experience closure with this. I'm going to move forward and process these emotions and process this experience and honor myself in this experience without their involvement whatsoever. And I'm going to do that, and I trust that I can. I believe that I can. And so that's what I'm going to do. And when you choose that, what I want to encourage is that you feel that tie cut. It might even be helpful to visualize a rope going from your heart to somebody else's heart, and it's kind of wrapped and tied, and you kind of take it off, you untie the knots, and you just drop that heavy rope on the ground. Your heart is no longer tied to them in the sense that you require their involvement for you to heal and move forward. Your heart is still going to be hurting. You're going to have some stuff to continue to work through, but these two steps are huge in just moving in the direction of choosing closure and healing and repair in relationship, even though the other person in that relationship is not available. I know that sounds ironic and impossible. How can we experience repair in relationship? Because what happens when there's hurt and there's lack of closure is we can be left with all kinds of messages about ourselves or about other people, like I'm not a good friend, or I can't trust myself, or I can't trust other people. And so the repair that we're experiencing when we seek this closure on our own is we experience repair in our heart, in relationship with God and in relationship to others and in relationship to ourselves. We learn how to trust ourselves. We learn how to grow in confidence with the decisions that we make when we pursue this repair. And we learn how to be close to others and feel safe and trust our own judgment with those relationships and trust ourselves for how to interact with people in those relationships. So all of these things are things we can pursue without the help of the other person, where there's been a previous broken experience in a relationship. So I just wanted to share these things with you guys today. I hope that might be encouraging and helpful for someone. You can seek closure and repair and healing when there's been brokenness in a relationship, and you can pursue that on your own. One of the phrases that a friend of mine recently shared that's been really impactful for me when it comes to therapy and healing and recovery is that these people went to a therapist and asked her to help them out. They were of a different religion. I think that they were kind of struggling in their relationship with God. And she said, I can help you, but without God, I can only take you so far. And that's a pretty potent, impactful statement to consider. I think in all of the work that we're doing on our hearts, I think it's worth reflecting on the one who created us, the one who knit us together and knows how we work and how we operate and how we heal. He knows, and he knows how to lead us through that. And so when I say we can do this on our own, hear me say this, that we have the opportunity for the ultimate counselor and guide and teacher and friend to live within us and to lead us through these things without the help of that other human being who we were wishing could help us. But I encourage you to consider trusting God in this process and inviting the Holy Spirit to lead you through and experiencing the therapeutic power of the ultimate counselor in your heart and in your life every day. All right, love you, friends. Bye.